broadcast live.
Hip hop was able to grab the spotlight. Hip hop was able to say, everybody that's looking over there, everyone that's looking over there, come and look at me. Come and look at us and see what we're doing. Because when I was sort of coming up as a kid, I was listening to the music, and in my neighborhood, there were very few people listening to the music. So the community was so small, and it felt small for a very long time. It always felt like we were just doing it for us. And when I came, me and my friends always felt like we looked the best, we looked the most attractive, we looked the most exciting, but nobody's paying attention to the stuff that we're making. And the layers was popping, but people weren't really giving any sort of love as a hip hop movement to say, now we're going over there. So I thought like, okay, we look good naturally as hip hoppers. We've got the influence from the culture we've been following all the way from the 80s up to the 2000s. But I don't think that we're letting people know that this lifestyle that we live in and these clothes that we're wearing and this swag that we're coming with, you can be part of it too. So our game plan was really to say, you know what? Let's make sure people understand that it's not just about a small community. Anybody can be part of the community through the clothes, through the way that you represent yourself. And if we all do that and more of us do that, it's gonna make sure that people are gonna have their eyes on hip hop and start paying attention to everybody. And when you used to watch the music videos, Busta Rhymes used to come out with a different outfit every time. He used to come with a crazy outfit. He's got the, palm trees on him. He's coming with the head wraps. He was always so charismatic in his presentation of the music that he's making. But the presentation that people so visually made it like, you have to look at that guy. I was watching the Squatter Camp video, the Umoya video, which was, at the time, I was probably thinking like, yo, why did they do that scene? Because it was the wind blowing and the guys were just dressed up in t-shirts and everyone was just like themselves. And then there was a scene where everyone had their faces painted. And I was like, why did they do that scene? And I was thinking about it, I was like, maybe it was to say, look at us, pay more attention to what we're doing. Let me add something visually. And for me, it was like, that's what we have to keep doing and not just be the ordinary guys, because there's nothing ordinary about hip hop. There's nothing ordinary about a guy coming on stage and having to control a whole room full of people that want to get rowdy. They're throwing bottles that side. They're drunk in a corner. They're graffitiing on the side of the wall. There's so much action that you have to be able to stand out. And I feel like hip hop needed that. It needed people to say that, yes, we look good naturally. Yes, we are cool naturally. Yes, ngaboniga. But let me show you actually that you're gonna look at me for the rest of the time. And we're not gonna stop. And for me, that was the main priority, is to make sure that we're gonna create good music, but we have to match up the attention level. We always have to keep the attention level up. And fashion was just one of the expressions that we could do it in every day without having to have a music video. You could always bring that element in and people would relate, because I see people are all about looking good, dressing good, the nicest shoes, mhlawumbe kavela with the sock showing a little bit. Your pants has got to be nice, your shirt, you're coming with Italiano. That's part of us, that's who we are. And whether those guys were doing the right thing or the wrong thing, you always paid attention to how they looked. I was grateful to be surrounded by a group of guys who always shared the knowledge about how to move, shared the knowledge about what's next, what's coming next. Don't be afraid to look different, don't be afraid to feel different, because we're already so different. We're already drowning in a sea of music that people think is the greatest gift to this land. But we're also coming with something, we're also offering something. We just have to get people to keep their eyes on us as long as possible. And really, that's what fashion really does. If you look at what's happening in the world now, hip hop has taken over fashion all around the world. For you to have a babe, what we used to laugh at, the layers for. We used to laugh at him for wearing the Babe hoodies. The guy who made Babe is designing Kenzo. You know what I'm saying? For a Virgil Abloh to walk into Louis Vuitton and tell them that, yo, I'm here representing hip hop. No matter what you guys are doing, I'm here representing hip hop. That's gotta be a sign for us down here. And it's gotta be a sign for us locally to understand the power that we have and influence that we have. And don't just look at it as we're following trends. No, we're actually setting the trends. And the trends are not just something that's gonna come in and out. in a week or two. These are trends that are gonna live in people's minds forever. In 25 years, people are gonna come back to that look that Deleuze had when he was rocking the babes and with the skateboards, and they're gonna say, damn, I wanna do that too. In 25 years, people are gonna say, hey, Ricky came like this on that music video, he came with this combo, let me show you the picture. I wanna come like that too. They're gonna keep bringing us back. When you see the player sport that Pro Kid had, people have been asking like, yo, where do I get the player sport t-shirt? I wanna do a throwback. It lives forever, right beside the music. But for me, it's a beautiful thing to see fashion be embraced in hip hop, because when you were too fashionable, it sort of turned the hip hop community off a little bit. And it's a beautiful thing that it's being embraced now, because it's really the way that we're gonna be able to be part of the broader culture for a very long time. Hip hop is in my blood. Making music is in my blood. It's something that I always just wanted to do out of fun. But when I made the decision to become a rapper, it was literally just to get a pair of Nikes for free from the sneaker store. It was so I can be able to get that gear that everybody else was getting sponsored in their music videos. I wanted a piece of that. I just wanted to get that shoe. And I didn't think that it was gonna get to a place where somebody would call me and say, why don't you make something? Because that wasn't my idea. Somebody called me and said, can you make a t-shirt? I'm like, can I make a t-shirt? Okay, let me try and make a t-shirt. And from making a t-shirt, I started wearing the t-shirt. Then from wearing my t-shirt, I started wearing other people's t-shirts, different brands. And then one day someone's gonna call you and say, yo, I see what you're doing in South Africa, can you please come to Paris? It was never my idea to say I wanna go to Paris. In Paris, man. I'm thinking about what's happening at home. I'm thinking about trying to do gigs here. What am I gonna do in Paris? I see about Kanye West in Paris. What am I gonna do in Paris coming from Joburg, a kid from Guamashu? What am I gonna do in Paris? But somebody called me and presented that opportunity to me and said, come to Paris, let me show you what's happening over here. And when I got to Paris, one thing I realized is that you meet kids from Brooklyn and kids from Harlem and kids from Long Beach and kids from the hardest areas in London that are coming to represent their little cultures too. And then they meet up and then they exchange ideas. And the idea for me to actually create a Cotton Fest came about from linking up from all these people from different cities and different places that were just all coming with their t-shirts. Or maybe they have an event and they were marketing their event with a t-shirt. For me, that's something I didn't understand. I didn't understand, like, how does a t-shirt link to people meeting up in one place? And I think the pop-up culture made it make sense to me. Because when I would sell a t-shirt, 500 kids used to come outside the door. But when I post a flyer, I wouldn't have the 500 kids that are coming to the event to buy a ticket to come inside. And I was like, damn, actually it's all connected. It's all about building the community. A community of people that want to celebrate everything about the culture. Not just the music, but they want to celebrate everything. So when I came back to South Africa, the first thing I thought after coming back from Paris was, I have to do an event that brings people together, and maybe everyone could be wearing the same t-shirt. We're not there yet, but the goal was like, I want to do an event where everyone is going to be wearing the same t-shirt at the event. And really that's what birthed Cotton Fest. And mind you, none of this was my idea. None of this was my idea, you know, sitting in my mom's room, making beats with my drum machine and recording on a 200 Rand mic. I didn't think that you could travel overseas, go get ideas from people and bring them back home, and for you to put it out into the world and it could happen. I thought you had to be someone bigger than that, you know. I thought you have to be like a politician or an actor. I couldn't imagine that that's what the music was gonna do for me. And I always remember, even though now we have so many different relationships and different things that we do, I always remember that I just wanted the shoe. And I always try to take that back into everything that I move with. When I create music or when I create an event or when I create clothes, I always try to take it back to that point when I'm feeling demotivated or when I'm feeling jaded or when I feel like the culture is moving too fast for me or I feel like I'm losing it. I always take it back to the fact that I just wanted a sneaker. Everything else comes with it, but I just wanted a sneaker. it sort of keeps me grounded, and everything happens by itself after that. And I think that's important for music and musicians, and especially hip hop artists in this day and age, is to remember what we did it for, what made us happy, you know. When you went to a Ken Zero gig, or when you listened to that first mixtape and you opened up that mixtape and you put it in your CD player, what was that feeling? Because you weren't listening to it for money. You weren't listening to it because it was popping on social media. You weren't listening to it because it's gonna trend on Twitter or on TikTok. You were listening to it because it made you feel great. And for me, it makes me feel great that so many opportunities have come just out of having respect for this culture that we live in, having respect for the MCs that live within this culture, having respect for people who take time to travel and drive away from their cities to come to another city to be able to connect with people that like what they like. And you know, I'm 35 now. I always make it old, like I'm old or something. I'm 35. I only came out when I was 27. And by the time you're 27, people tell you stop focusing on that dream. People tell you that maybe it's time to go work on something else. And what this journey has taught me is that there's always time to work on something next, not something else. You can always keep pushing. You can always keep opening up your world, and it's never ever too late, never ever too late. But most importantly, it's a real blessing to see. You know, I don't look at, and I don't say myself, but I look at the group of guys that I came with. I don't look at us as trailblazers or any sort. I don't look at us as like icons or anything like that. And I'm not saying that people say that, but I don't look at us as anything special other than what was happening at the time, you know? And it makes it difficult for me to look back and say, we did something special. It makes it difficult for me to look back and say, we introduced something into the game. But sometimes when someone comes up to me and they're 13 years old or 12 years old or 14 years old and they say, damn, I remember when you wore this outfit, and they show you a picture on the phone, that puts things into perspective for me, that maybe what we did add something to the game. What we did bring that light that everybody else all around the world was getting. Maybe what we did say that you're able to push it forward and risk being laughed at or risk being told that that's not hip hop. It makes me realize that, yeah, those sacrifices are worth it, you know. Rock that outfit, look different, represent your culture. Because that's my big thing now. Now I want to represent South African clothes. Now I want to represent South African designers and African designers. That's like the next place I want to go. Now that's even harder, because when I come with a Maxhosa headwear and when I'm rocking a full Maxhosa, even people in the crowd looking at me like, yo, what is this now, you know? That's like another challenge you gotta go through. Now, how do you look African on stage? How do you look African with the music that you're coming with? That's like the next level that we're still gonna conquer. But because of everything that we've been through, I believe we can get through that also. Because none of it was promised, it just happened. It just happened, and we had to keep doing it for it to happen. So, a lot of people might not remember this, or a lot of people might have not paid attention. Let me break it down for you. It was the FUBU joints, then to the player sport joints. After the player sport joints, you're finding Deleuze coming through with the Bape and with the colors. Now, when he's introducing the colors, I'm looking up, I'm seeing Kuli China coming with a tracksuit top and a cap with a Struce barb on it. Every time I see Kuli, he can wear his scrum buns, he can wear his shirts with the buttons down. I'm always gonna see Kuli as the guy who said, I'm gonna come with the tracksuit top and I'm gonna rock the cap on you. And then they said, I'm coming with the head honcho. When you say it's head honcho, I'm remembering AKA coming through. That's what I'm always gonna see AKA. So when I see AKA, he can have his long hair, he can do everything he wants. I see him as the guy who came with the Stay Fresh, Get Money t-shirt. And then after that, you start seeing like, hey, what's going on? And then we're saying, you know what? Now we're gonna be coming through with the Nikes, we're gonna come through with the tighter t-shirts, with the glasses. Now we're gonna be coming through with the Cavelas. Now we're gonna mix it up. That's how we were coming. And then I said, you know what? I see what you guys are doing. Let's take it to Italiano the whole way. Then we said, let's come with the Gucci. You get me what I'm saying? And then Cash Time and Cash Time Fam, they said, no, guys, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna come with the socks now. We're gonna pull them up here. Let's see how many people do that. You get me? And then you say Questa. Questa starts rocking vests. As skinny as that is, he starts rocking vests. What happens in the hood? All the kids start rocking vests. This journey, it's so beautiful because for me, that's how I timestamp hip hop. That's how I look at it. Like, at that time when you came out, I remember what you came out with. You get me? And it's still happening today. Now you see Blackie coming through with the no combed hair. Now he's coming with the grill, and he's coming with the shirt off like this. That's what's gonna, you know, that's like defines the era that we're living in. Now the kids are saying, no, we don't even need to comb the hair. I don't even need to have it the way that you guys have it clean. Now I just keep it the way I like it, and I move like this. That's the new generation. They're saying, hey man, anything goes now. And we're gonna make it look good, we're gonna make it look pretty, and we're gonna spread it throughout the whole country. So with all of those things floating around, the Double HP t-shirt, the Casper Noves t-shirt, you get me? Can we bring everybody together into one spot? Can you come from the east, from the south, from the west, from the north, wherever you're coming from Pitoli? Let's come together, let's meet up in one location, and we're gonna call it Cotton Fest. Represent what you represent, be who you wanna be, but know that we appreciate that you're doing. Whether we're gonna put it, whether we're gonna rock it or not, we appreciate it because you make us look better. Hope I'm not leaving any names out, but it's just beautiful to see that, man. Everyone that comes out presents something new. Everybody that came out gave us something to look at and say, damn, man, that guy's really cool. I'd like to do that, you know. And then by the time you put it together into one location, now we're telling them Mzansi hip hop fashion story.
Broadcast live